Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of Math Review. Today we're going to be looking at graphing through Practice Points 18, page 3. Let's go ahead and get started. We always want to look at the information provided to us so that we can get more information about the graph below. So let's go ahead and read this. The daily high temperatures for Gotham City in the month of January were recorded and graphed. Use the graph to answer the questions. So now we want to take a good look at this graph. We see that the title of it is Daily High Temperature. We see that there's the dates of January going across our x-axis, which is our horizontal axis. And we see the temperature in degrees Celsius going up our vertical axis, which is our y-axis. If we look across at any point, we're able to tell what day that was and what temperature that was. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the first question. The first question says, what kind of graph is this? Well, let's think about the different types of graph. A pictograph has pictures of the actual items being described in it. This one has no pictures, so it's definitely not a pictograph. A line graph is a series of dots that are connected by lines, and it always has time going across the x-axis. If we look at this one, it is a series of dots connected by lines, and going across the x-axis are dates going up. That is time moving on every day. So that could be our answer, but let's double check. A bar graph has different categories that are represented with a bar. Nope, that's not on there. And a line plot is a single line that has dots along it to represent amounts at each point. That is not what we're seeing here. So we are seeing a line graph. Question number 2 says, what was the high temperature on January 3rd? Okay, so we're looking for the 3rd of January. We know we have to go across the bottom because that's where our dates are. But the January 3rd isn't listed on here. We have to figure out how we would find that. If we count by all these lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we can see that this is going by ones on all the little lines, but they only wrote the number every 7. So if we're going to write it in 1, 2, 3, this is our 3rd date. Well, we go to the point on that January 3rd and we go across. And we can see this one is 0 degrees Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius. Now it's asking on what day was there a high of 6 degrees Celsius. So we're going to this time go to the y-axis and we're going to go to 6. What we want to do is we want to go across until we find a dot. Aha! Here's a dot at 6 degrees Celsius. Let's go down to see what day that was. 7, 8, 9. That is on January 9th. Okay. Number 4 says, by how much did the temperature increase from January 14th to 15th? So we need to find the temperature on January 14th. And we need to find the temperature on January 15th, which is going to be the dot right next to it, but up quite a bit higher, and figure out what those are. Well, if my scale goes from 0 to 3, I know I'm going to have 1 and 2 in there. And that dot on the 14th looks closer to 1. So we know we have 1 degree Celsius. On the 15th, we go all the way up, and we see that it's not quite to 12. It's probably 1 below that if we go over, and it's going to line up at probably this line right here, which is going to give us 11. So if on January 14th it was 1 degree Celsius, and on January 15th it was 11 degrees Celsius, we can subtract those two, 11 minus 1, to find the difference. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 with nothing below it is going to just come down, and it'll be a difference of 10 degrees and went up. Our last question, number 5, says the Joker only likes creating trouble for Batman on days when the high temperature is greater than 12 degrees Celsius. So not including 12, greater than 12. On what days in January did the Joker create trouble for Batman? Okay, let's go up here. I'm going to draw a line across 12. I know that I have to find points that are only above that line. So if I look across, there's only 2. This point here and this point here. Let's go down to see what dates those were. They're right next to each other. So if this is the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17, 18. So the 2 days that the Joker was causing trouble was January 17th and 18th. Well, there's line graphs for you. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask your teacher.